Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's time to strip parents now of custody for misgendering their own children.
Colorado House just passed a bill that would consider it a form of child abuse if you're a parent and you misgender your child, calling your son a boy or your daughter a girl, citing the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Some of the groups in opposition to this bill are on a list of hate groups maintained by one of the most well-known civil rights law firms.
That's the same SPLC that paid $3 million in a defamation lawsuit. The same SPLC whose hate map inspired a domestic terrorist attack. The same SPLC that unionized amid a racial discrimination and sexual harassment scandal, and that now faces claims of union busting.
Yes. The old Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC, our friends over there on the left, far left. This is that loony leftist nonprofit organization that raises money for itself by pretending to be social justice warriors, of course. The SPLC is a total joke.
The co-founder of the Southern Poverty Law Center, a deep-pocketed left-wing civil rights organization, was fired on Wednesday.
Now, again, we're going to talk about truth versus narrative. That's the truth. Everybody knows that's the truth. Every serious journalist out there knows that's the truth. And yet every few months, just like clockwork, some lazy loser journalist dredges up the SPLC's intelligence report, read fundraiser, on hate groups in America, and then phones in some hysterical little fake news story about hate groups as if the SPLC were somehow legitimate.
The Southern Poverty Law Center, based in that building in Alabama, calls itself the premier group monitoring hate groups and other extremists. Looking at their map of hate groups, you'd think hate groups were everywhere. I once believed what the center said. Well-meaning people still do. Apple gave them $1 million. But what donors don't know is that today, the center's become a hate group itself. It's now a left-wing, money-grabbing slander machine.
Again, that's the truth. Trouble is, the truth has absolutely nothing to do with what the SPLC does for a living. For them, it's all about the narratives.
Last year, the FBI let us in on a secret. The real threat to America is traditional Catholics. Apparently, Catholics who attend the Latin Mass are a secret cabal of hate, full of anti-Semites and homophobes. This is, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, when a brave whistleblower published the FBI's report on radical traditional Catholics, the Bureau rushed to rescind the document. More than a year after the FBI publicly retracted the memo, the SPLC has kept radical traditional Catholic hate groups on its hate map. The SPLC branded the Ruth Institute, a small Roman Catholic organization, an anti-LGBTQ+ hate group. Why? The Ruth Institute's founder, Jennifer Roback Morse, restated the centuries-old official position of the Catholic Church on sexuality. If quoting the Catechism is enough to make the Ruth Institute a hate group, then the entire Catholic Church should be considered a hate group.
Bingo!
Now, this is very serious, impacts us directly. Biden's FBI director, Christopher Wray, it got so bad that he finally had to go out and apologize to the congressional committee over that SPLC report, or what they were doing with Latin Mass Catholics.
The Richmond product, which was a single product by a single field office, which as soon as I found out about it, I was aghast and ordered it withdrawn and removed from FBI systems.
If Christopher Wray is still looking for the source of that fake news, well, it is the Southern Poverty Law Center. In fact, if you Google their so-called intelligence report from 2007, put them on the screen, you'll find that fake news product has been being sent all over the place to law enforcement organizations, including the FBI, literally for years, despite the fact it's completely fake news. And incredibly now, that same report from 2007, they really loved that one over at the SPLC. It was recirculated, maybe I should say regurgitated, again, just last year.
Imagine that an organization that brands conservatives and Christians haters and puts them on a map with chapters of the Ku Klux Klan works with the federal government, advising the administration on its domestic terror strategy. This Orwellian nightmare, and last year, the SPLC added parental rights groups like Moms for Liberty to the hate map.
So you need to beware, the SPLC is out there warning everyone, beware of the traditional Catholic domestic terrorists. Here's what they look like. Now that's pretty scary stuff. I'm glad the SPLC is on the case. But you know what, friends? It's Holy Week once again. This is actually very serious. The far left is engaging in this around the clock. Most of us aren't even paying attention to them. That's what they're doing. And none of this really should surprise us. You know, if the world hates you, Jesus told us, know ye that it hath hated me before you. And this is all about hate. They say they're trying to round up hate criminals and domestic terrorists, but what they're doing is trafficking in hate hysteria. So over at Remnant Newspaper right now, we're talking about what's going on. Our Joshua Hernandez writes that, quote, amidst a deafening silence in the face of a rising death toll that continues to climb into the tens of thousands, the slaughter of Christians in Syria, which we're going to talk about in a moment, and the destruction of our ancient churches, the most urgent concern in the minds of many, even conservatives, is to suppress the phrase, Christ is King. This is the worst catastrophe in the world. People are out there on the internet saying Christ is King.
This is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen.
And again, meanwhile, back in the real world,
Alawites and Christians, minorities, are being killed in different parts of Syria.
Religious persecutions in Nigeria continue to make headlines. Watchdog groups accuse the Nigerian government